What is that? Don't know what that was. Anyway,
Bravel hates dogs.
No, somebody messed with the thing, so I'll have to fix that. But anyways, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Fravel, with my co-host Ben. Sean down below as he is retweeting the stream right now. We are back for another episode. It has been a great week, obviously. We got the great news just last week, 6 days ago, that Teddy Gerard, the number 2 quarterback in the class of 2027 per Rivals, committed to Notre Dame. So first things first, we basically went into Teddy's tape last week, but briefly, how excited are we about Teddy Gerard committing to Notre Dame? Go ahead, Sean.
Ben. Oh, okay, I will go. Yeah, I'm excited. I think this is a great get. I told y'all last week that I felt like this is the best quarterback commit we would have in the last 10 years. So whenever he committed, it was super exciting. When you look at the offers, you look at his ranking, you look at everything. Whether you're an offer guy or a ranking guy, you both can be happy. So I think he's going to be super talented. My only worry, like I said, was the happy feet, but I'm pumped about it. I mean, Ben, I think he could be like a continuation after C.J. Carr and continue a list of years of quarterback success at Notre Dame, finally.
Yeah, kind of just to double off what you said there. When you look at these teams, look at these top programs, they have the ability to replace their quarterback. A lot of times it's not through a transfer portal, but if it has to be through a transfer portal, it'll be that. A lot of times it's through recruiting. Look at Alabama. They went from Jalen Hurts to Jalen Milroe. They were able to do that, and there was the 1 year. No, Jalen Milroe was after Tua. They were able to do that. Georgia, they had to do it through a transfer portal, but they always had a top level quarterback in some way. If it was Jake Fromm or Stetson Bennett or Carson Beck, they always had a top quarterback in some sort of way. And you look at other school, LSU, they were very good at for a while. Now it finally paid off the year of Joe Burrow. But that's something that you need to have as a top school. You can't be every year going to the transfer portal and banging on a dude, hoping you get a quarterback who's going to be top tier. Banging on Jesus. Like you can't do that. And that's one thing that we talked about this year with Riley Leonard. We're like, this is probably the last time we're going to have a quarterback transfer in. It's probably going to be a CJ Carr show or Kenny Minchie show next because we want to commit more to our guys that we're recruiting.
Yeah. Overall, I know all three of us were pretty excited watching Teddy's tape, especially him being a sophomore. I think one of the biggest things we talked about was his footwork in the pocket, kind of getting a little antsy, but that's not too big of a worry, especially since, again, he was a sophomore. He's got 2 years to fix that. Is there any worry? Because I've seen this commented under my graphics, under post about Teddy. Is there any worry that this is a Deuce Knight 2.0 and he ends up transferring from the class? I know it's obvious, anything's possible, but just your guys' personal gut feeling. Do you take this as a recruitment he can leave?
Those comparisons are the same people that in real life, like if they have how do I explain this? Oh, when I was in high school, this happened with his girlfriend, so I think every person's the same after that. And Deuce Knight didn't even commit. Deuce Knight was a silent commit. This is a verbal commit. You saw a very nice commitment video. I think there's a huge gap in difference between Deuce Knight and Gerard.
Yeah, I agree. The big thing with Knight was that he wasn't. They didn't have a giant pep rally for him. They didn't even tell 247 Sports. They didn't do any of that. Just Knight was silent commit, and then he randomly just tweeted out someday that he was going to Notre Dame, and then it turns out he was taking all these visits elsewhere. This is one of those kids that early on you get him to start off your class. He could be a leader in the class, kind of like how we've seen from Drake Bowen or we've seen from Javion Osborne. They're leaders in the class, so it could be one of those types of things. Of course, anything's possible. God knows he comes out as the number one recruit next year, number one quarterback. Michigan will be at his door after Bryce Underwood doesn't work out. And they need to pay another 18-year-old $18 million. Like, who knows what's going to happen? But right now, I think this is a pretty it would take a lot for him to leave, just with everything that's happened.
Michigan faded on him too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Michigan got bigger fish to fry.
Too weird for EJ Holland.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Ben's
I
guy.
agree though. I do think that I think Teddy sticks. I know that people are, like you said, Sean, are kind of jaded and like, oh, it doesn't even matter until they put pen to paper, which is true. But I think that doing it based off of what happened with Deuce Knight, Peyton Bowen, Keon Keeley, I think that's just kind of. I think that, and I also think this staff has done a lot better, especially even the 26 class, of finding kids that when they commit to Notre Dame, they stick. You know what I mean? Like I don't think anybody. Anything can happen in recruiting, but I don't think anybody from the 26 class is fluking. So, but that's just me. Getting into kind of leapfrogging off of Teddy with an elite quarterback like Teddy, right? The number 2 quarterback in the 27 class. It seems like a lot of elite prospects in the 2027 class Notre Dame are after kind of on notice, including current Penn State commitment, Keemon Spell, the consensus number 1 running back in the class of 2027, has been committed to the Nittany Lions for quite a while. Was it about a month ago? He put out that his recruitment was shut down. He was completely 100% locked in with Penn State. And then was yesterday, you see the report that he set 4 game visits for this year. One of them, obviously, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, 1 to Bama, 1 to Florida State, and then 1 to Penn State, Oregon. Is this a Teddy effect, or do you guys think this is more just the Freeman factor and Jawan Sider being that dog?
Jawan, I mean, you have the running back coach come from Penn State. He commits. If I'm correct, he committed while he was still there. Correct.
Yep. So Sider was his lead recruiter.
Already have a built relationship, and if he goes to Notre Dame and he feels it's better, I mean, I think it's that effect. I still think I'm leaning he stays at Penn State. You visit Penn State, a night game, Happy Valley, a whiteout. That's going to be hard to beat. But I mean, maybe he sees how we use Jeremiah Love, and he's like, "Hey, Notre Dame's the place for me." I don't know. I'm not super confident in this recruitment. I think it's nice that it's opened up, but I'm sure Ben feels the same way. Where I would love to get this kid, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think that we would just have to wait and see how all the visits shake out. But it is good news that he's wanting to visit Notre Dame. I don't think it's yes, I do think Freeman with everything. I don't think it's really Teddy. I do think it's more of the running back coach going from Penn State, Notre Dame, and him being intrigued by that.
Ben?
Yeah, I think what happened here is Snyder. It's Jawan Snyder, right? That's running back coach's name.
Yeah, Sider. Yeah,
Sider. I think he reached out to him because and really at the end of the day, like the coach that recruits you has a lot to do with it, but it's also the school. So it probably was reached out and he said, "Hey, do you want to just come take a visit, see how it looks? Like I think you'd really fit well here if you came here. Probably maybe better than you would at Penn State." So I could definitely see it just being that he's taking the visit because the guy recruited him, asked him to, and he's just saying I'll give it a shot. It could also be something where Notre Dame could flip them, and the Nittany Lions fan base, we could ruin their mental health even more, and Ryan Fravel would be attacked even more on Twitter. So it's very. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I think at the end of the day, we're gonna find good kids no matter what, and at the end of the day, we're gonna have to get them in, and we're gonna have to build them up, especially at the running back position. If we get them, that's a great pickup, and if we don't, then there's other people we can get. It's not the end all be all for us. It's not like quarterback where we're committing so much time to a quarterback and then the quarterback doesn't come here.
Yeah, no matter what, we're going to be fine. But this is the difference between getting a Jeremiah Love and getting a Keegan Young, which Keegan Young is very good. I'm not saying otherwise, but if you can have the elite of the elite, I mean, I think this is 100% the best running back in that class. And if you pair him with a top 3 quarterback, that's probably the best offensive class off the bat Notre Dame's had in a minute. So I agree. And Ben, thanks for just copying everything I said. I appreciate it.
Hey, I just got to make sure the Penn State fans understand that you can have your beef with Fravel, but some of y'all are still weird for the whole Jerry Sandusky thing. So calm it down, okay? We all got our fucking bats in the closet.
I do, but not like so. Let me ask you guys this, because I'm not saying that I'm personally worried about it. I don't think it's something that should be should be worried about. But I know it'll be something that'll be brought up because Notre Dame has been on the other end of this, where they've had a kid commit, say he's locked in, and all this other stuff, and then take visits elsewhere. Does that worry you from the opposing side aspect of this kid? Hey, this kid committed to Penn State. He's been committed to Penn State for half a year now, and he just said a month ago with a whole graphic and everything, his recruitment shut down. He's locked in, but his actions are saying otherwise. Does that worry you in terms of if he were to commit to Notre Dame, the same thing kind of happening?
No, because he would commit a little later. If it would be in the fall, he would have a senior season to focus on. I think it's different flipping in your junior season than going into like a senior year, right? We see, not saying otherwise that we don't see people flip their senior year, but I think at that point he's allowed to make his official visits now, and then he would officially see where he wants to go. And at that point, he made his best decision that he felt was best for him. I don't see him flipping again. I mean, the biggest worry I always have with flippers is transfer portal, right? But if he is going to get the playing time like I think he would get at Notre Dame, I'm not worried about that. This is it's very similar. I mean, Nicholas Singleton was Notre Dame crystal ball, Penn State pistol crystal ball, and it was back and forth in the recruitment. It's different because he's committed, but this could be a similar battle to where it's Notre Dame, Penn State. Where will he go by signing day? But I don't. If you're Penn State, yes, you're worried. If this was a Notre Dame commit, I'd be worried. But I just don't see him flipping as of now. There's nothing that says he's going to leave Penn State yet.
Okay, Ben.
I would just, like Sean said, there's nothing saying he's got to leave Penn State yet. He committed to him, and unless we see something like, of course we could see crystal balls come out the wazoo, but until then, I'm not gonna get that deep and dived with spell on this type of thing.
Yeah, because you're going to be more disappointed that if he doesn't go to Notre Dame, you're going to be.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up, because the odds of a player flipping, I don't know the exact odds, but I'm assuming it's around 10%. You're setting yourself up to be upset. And 10% is probably a higher number than what it actually is. So, like, it's not, it's not worth getting all stirred up about.
It's a nice, like, when I got on Twitter and I saw this, I was like, it's a nice surprise, because I didn't think realistically that spell was on the table, mainly because I've seen how everything he's posted, at least publicly, he's pretty locked in. But then you see the visits, and everything, and you see who he's on the visits with at Notre Dame, and it's every single top of the board Notre Dame target that they're after in 27 is going to be on campus. Teddy Gerard is going to be on campus. Ellis McGaskin going to be on campus. The 5-star long snapper going to be on campus.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My question is, the 5-star long snapper, how do you get that ranking?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that like recruiting sites count them as either no stars or 3 stars, but they have to go to some camp, I believe, and a camp grades long snappers. So, but I'm don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but that's what I gathered.
No, I think what it is it's not Coach Freeman. It's not Gerard's commitment. It's not even Juwan Sider. Keemon Spell just wants to hang out with the best long snapper in the nation, man. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had no idea who he was before this weekend. I'm going to be honest. No idea.
I didn't even know we still recruited long snappers.
No, we're talking about the running back now, Ben.
Oh, Spell?
You didn't know who Spell was? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I
got
didn't know. Oh, my bad. Ryan even got confused. I Yeah, I had no idea who Spell was. He said Spell, so I just continued that. And until I saw his highlights after all the news and stuff, and then I was like, yeah, this guy is really good. Right.
Yeah. I also think it's harder and really quickly, because we'll move on here soon. I think it's hard to pull a kid out of McKeesport, Pennsylvania, which is literally Penn State's backyard. But we did it with Joey O'Brien. We did it with Grayson McHugh. So, if anything, I feel like Notre Dame can get it done. But we'll have to see wait until we'll see how everything goes out with his visit. If, because those visits change all the time. So who knows if that even is still a thing.
Wait, which backyard? Wait, which backyard was it? Was the one that Jerry threw toys in the? I gotta stop making the jokes. I gotta stop making the jokes.
State fans,
Fans are gonna hate me today.
Topic.
Yeah, what's the next topic?
Well, really quick, as of right now, do you think he flips or stays with Penn State? Just call it. As of right now, it can change, obviously, but as of right now, do you think it's more likely he flips or stays?
I think he stays. I don't have any bricked up predictions, golden bricks. So.
Yeah, I think he stay. I don't. It's not gonna. It's just something that realistically is just way out there. And if he flips, he flips. That's awesome. But I think he stays. It's just too risky to say that he's gonna flip and put a A+ on it.
I think as of right now, it's more likely he sticks. But it would just be absolutely hilarious to shove James Franklin and his bald head in a locker again for another Penn State recruit. But anyways, kind of talking about the same Texas A&M visit weekend, we already talked about a few people that will be on campus. Teddy Gerard, Ellis McGaskin, a 5-star long snapper, obviously. Can't forget him. Let's talk about some other top of the board targets that have not necessarily locked in visits, but have scheduled visits for the Texas A&M game. One of them being newly 5-star receiver Quentin Burrell from Chicago. He's going to be on campus along with 5-star receiver Monshawn Sales, who's an Indiana native. How are we feeling about where Notre Dame stands right now with these two guys, and how much of an impact do you guys think it will be with these two being on campus for a night game in South Bend alongside, the 27 quarterback commit, who's a top 2 quarterback in the class, being around that? How important do you guys think it is to get these guys on campus with Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, you want to build a wide receiver quarterback connection. I mean, everyone who watches football knows that quarterbacks and the receivers need to have some sort of relationship. And when you have two receivers that are high 4-stars or 5-star caliber talents from Indiana, if this was the Brian Kelly era, I probably wouldn't expect to get them. But with Marcus Freeman, I expect you to get the best from Indiana. So having Teddy there, you're also going to have the Penn State running back commit there. So you're going to have the best running back, a top 2 quarterback. And, I mean, how do you not bond over that? So with everything being from Indiana, I expect to land at least one of these guys. So I think it's big having Teddy there because, like I said, build the relationship, and maybe that could go a long way in terms of their time at Notre Dame or just through their commitment process or recruiting process. Ben?
I think these are both. If we get one of them, that's great. If we get both of them, that's amazing. It's going to be a lot, and how we said like Teddy's got to be a big part of his class. Well, if these wide receivers like talking to Teddy, if they like hanging out with Teddy, it's got to be a huge part of the class because that means that there's a connection there between the top quarterback and the guy who's got to be catching the footballs he's got to throw at him this year. And these are what they're both. One's a 4-star, one's a 5-star, right?
Yeah. So Burrell is a 5-star, like, what do you call it? Composite.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're both 5-star composite receivers. They're both 2 of the top 6 receivers in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the number 2 quarterback on campus and 2 of the top 6 receivers in the nation on campus alongside the number 1 running back.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and this is gonna be maybe something happen. I could definitely see coming out of his visit where we get a lot of the guys who are coming on the visit. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I went to Notre Dame for this reason because I was able to hang out with these guys. I was able to hang out with my future teammates, and I was able to see Notre Dame under the lights during a big game." So yeah.
Now, obviously, between the two, who do you guys think is more likely? I don't necessarily know how much Sean knows about the sales recruitment. That's one where, while he is an Indiana kid, it seems like his eyes have kind of been elsewhere. Mainly like Ohio State, some SEC teams. It hasn't really felt like he's kind of had that. And I don't know him. I don't know about him specifically, but just from like the outsider's perspective, it seemed like there really hasn't been much interest in Notre Dame. And if you just look at how Notre Dame has fared with elite level receivers from the state of Indiana, and has not played out well, Nitro Tuggle, and he goes to Georgia. I'm blinking on the kid that went to Ohio State, the receiver out of Indiana who also went to Ohio State. John Anthony Hall, who was a top 50 player from Indiana, goes to Stanford. Like it doesn't seem like Notre Dame recently has done well keeping in-state talent at receiver position in-state. So that does concern me a little bit with sales. Me personally, I think it's more likely that you get Burrell because he plays in Chicago, and Chicago's a heavy Notre Dame area. He plays at Mount Carmel, so he plays top tier competition over there. Who do you think? Who do you think is more likely?
What high school does Slater go to?
Does Sales go play for?
Sales, I mean.
He plays for Lawrence North in Indianapolis.
My thing is when I look at Nitro Tuggle,
yeah,
and I look at those kids, did we offer Nitro Tuggle?
We did.
It's just that kid was something. That kid was something else. He didn't really well, and we know, of course, the other things of Nitro Tuggle, the off the field issues. But when you look how the kid played football in high school, and it was, and I don't want to give out all my information, even though if you went to my Twitter, you can find it. We played him. It would have been my sophomore year of college, but my high school that I went to, we played him in the state championship. We played him, and he was a kid who was a lot of me ball position, which is fine. He's a really good receiver, fully understandable. I don't know how well he would have worked out in Notre Dame. It turns out his off the field issues. Now he's at Purdue. I would want to see how that works out first before I say losing out on Nitro Tuggle was the end all be all. It's the other thing with the Indiana kids. A lot of those kids, when they grow up, and a lot of them at the skill position, unless it's quarterback, they don't know a lot of kids from their area that went to these schools like Notre Dame and did well. They know about kids who went to Ohio State and did well. They know about kids who went to IU and sure. And they know about kids who went to Purdue and did well being just Rondell Moore. But Notre Dame wise, I don't remember the last time we got a skill position guy from Indiana. A lot of Michael Mayer, he was from Kentucky. Cole Kmet, he was from Chicago area or Illinois area.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was.
I can't really put it skill position wise on the offense side of the ball. I can't think of a time we've gotten a kid from Indiana and he's worked out off the just top of my head. And it's really that has to do with it, and also it could be a change in the guard because we're gonna have an amazing wide receiver group come in, and we're gonna have guys. I think Malachi Fields will end up being a top. I think he'll end up being a good draft pick, maybe a third round draft pick. I don't think he'll do a day 3. I think he'll be a day 2 guy, but we're gonna have that. Jane Grayhouse will probably end up being a day 3 guy at least. Fajon, if he stuck the football, he probably could have been an NFL draft pick. We're going to have guys like that are coming in. So we'll have to see. But I'm not really – it's not the end-all be-all if we don't get the sales from Lawrence North. And the other thing with it, too, is also Indiana kids, not all of them always have the grades to make it into Notre Dame, even with that little bit of a buffer they get for being an athlete. Not always. Usually, times the kids who do choose Notre Dame, they would get into Notre Dame even if they weren't an athlete. They're that smart. They have that good grades.
So
that
I
could
don't know
also
how
have something to do
familiar
with it.
you are. I don't know how familiar you are because I know you're from Indy,
Mm-hmm.
but how familiar are you from Lawrence North specifically? Is it like a pretty high education school? Is it?
It's an Indianapolis public school. I know them more for their basketball program, not for the football program.
Okay.
I'm not saying people at Lawrence North are dumb. I'm not saying they're a great school. You're going to get a great education there. But realistically speaking, it's not like a private school, if that's what you're going to ask. It's not a private school.
Because I'm more familiar with Mount Carmel, obviously, in Chicago. But, that's where, I'm kind of like, if you get Burrell, even if you just split, you get Burrell and not Sales, I'm fine with that. Because I think Burrell by himself, he's one of the top 6 receivers. Is there really that big of a difference between the number 6 receiver and the number 3 receiver in the class when they're both composite 5 stars? It would be nice to get both of them, but also I think it also helps when you have Julius Jones Jr., who is a legacy kid who is also still on the board. And we'll kind of talk about him a little bit here briefly, but he's already said that he's going to get up to South Bend for one of the night games, so that means A&M, USC, or Navy. If you're the staff, would you prefer him to be on campus for the A&M game, or kind of have him come for the USC game or Navy game when it's kind of more, you can specifically roll out the red carpet for just him?
I would rather have him there for the games with the other players because I feel like once again it's got to be that connection they're gonna have to make. That's one thing that I feel like we're forgetting a part of recruiting is that these guys when they come in together, they're very close because they became friends with each other. Like we look back at the biggest recruiting weekend in Notre Dame history, for back in June, like those guys look close, like they look like they all were really good friends. That there wasn't really a question on how they were acting or anything like that. I think it will be important to see that happen. To answer your question about Lawrence North, they're a school. I would say they're better known for basketball than football. They met, Greg Oden and Mike Conley.
Yep.
Both went to Lawrence North. There's a kid, I want to say Tony Perkins went there. He went on to play basketball at Iowa. He was really athletic. I want to say he played at Lawrence North. But back to what I was saying with the other kids, I would rather them come for the A&M game than come for the Navy game because I think it's got to be more important to get them close together. Because every other school's got to roll off the red carpet for them no matter what. We're going to do it even if it is in that game in A&M. I think it's about making a connection.
Okay. And I agree with you because I don't know if you read the interview that Joey O'Brien did with Blue and Gold, I want to say, where he talked about I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I commit to Notre Dame if I don't have my OV weekend when it was supposed to be. Because remember, it was originally scheduled the weekend after the big recruiting weekend, and then he pushed it back, to the 20th. He was like, I don't know if I'm committing to Notre Dame if I'm not there that weekend with that group of guys. And even Corey Adams kind of said similar things. So I do agree because, it showed that getting Joey O'Brien, Corey Adams together with all the other commits and all your other big targets, you went, 8 for 9? Mm-hmm. So it seemed to work out pretty well. All right.
I feel like it'll be more important to get them all in together.
All right, let's get into our next topic. Fall camp is right around the corner. Obviously starts in just a couple days on July 31st. So I wanted to kind of go through some things, maybe throw out there. What are some things that you are concerned about or would like to see answered coming in out of fall camp? What are some things you'd like to know? Obviously starting quarterback's one, but what are some concerns, questions that you have that you'd like to see answered or kind of find out what we've got in fall camp heading into fall camp, obviously.
Who the wide receiver 3 is going to be? 1 and 2 is pretty locked down. One's always got to be Fields. 2 will be Greathouse. It's really got to be who's got to be wide receiver 3. And are we seeing a separation at tight end? Do we have a clear cut starting tight end? And then, of course, with Jagasol's injury, who's going to be taking the spot? Are we going to go for freshman, or are we going to go with someone who's played snaps before of us? Defensive side of the ball, yeah, the defense is just going to do – defense got to do what they want to do. There's not a lot of going around there. Maybe you could say Jalen Sneed going to be someone, or him and Bowen got to be the 1-2, or we got to work KVA and more, and him and Bowen be the 1-2 more of on the linebacker side. Besides that, there's nothing else I really have a question for.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Obviously quarterback's a huge one. We'll get into that here in a second. But I kind of want to see. I want to see who the RB3 is, right? I think most people would say it's Aeneas, but I kind of want to see how they plan to utilize, because I know they want to get Keydron Young on the field this year. That they redshirted him last year. Between the two of him and Aeneas, I think to kind of save his eligibility, because I think he's got some talent. How do they balance that? Because I don't think you can every single game run a 4 running back rotation. I just don't think it's feasible. So I'm interested to see how Sider kind of balances that, right? Again, I'm kind of interested to see the battle between Faison and Pauling for that wide receiver 3 spot. I think it makes it even more interesting that Greathouse has kind of moved back into the slot. So there's 3 slot guys right there. How does that work, right? I'm also interested to see, from all the reports we get, how does Kenny and how does CJ look with the first team offense? Because we got to see a little bit of it, and we got to see some stuff from them in the spring game, obviously, but that wasn't the starting offensive line. That was without Jeremiah Love. Jaden Greathouse didn't play many snaps. The defense was, kind of shuffled. It wasn't really the first team, second team. It was all kind of a mix and match scenario. I want to see how those guys look. And also, how does Freeman get them prepared? Get Freeman, get either Kenny or CJ, whoever starts, ready for the atmosphere week 1. Because it's one thing to just blast music through the speakers, blast sound, but outside of that, do you bring pressure? Like live pressure? Do you put CJ and Kenny in scenarios where, it's not, you're just in practice, right? You got to get them in that mindset. You're on the road, hostile environment, under the lights, first start, put them in a bad situation and see how they handle it, right? And then also, how does the free safety spot work? Seems like you got a battle right now between Talich and Stroman. How does that play out? I'm sure to see, who comes out and wins that battle. But getting back to the quarterback battle, it was a thing that was talked about in the group chat. When do you think we will find out who the starter is, and when do you think it'll be announced?
It's the first game, August 30th.
Yep, August 31st.
I bet you we find out by the weekend of August 15th. I think we have 2 weeks of where we know the quarterback's going to be somebody. I feel like it'll be CJ Carr. I feel like we'll have 2 weeks where it's guaranteed who the quarterback's going to be.
You don't think that it could turn into a situation where, for me, it's like looking at it strategically? I think the staff would know and kind of tell the players who the starter is going to be, maybe around August 15th. But I don't think it's publicly announced until the week of the game.
No, I'm talking about we will find out August 15th. I think they've already decided who the quarterback's going to be.
You think they've already decided right now?
Yeah, I think by looking at what we've done, it's very odd to. I think they've already decided it's got to be Carr. I think Minchie knows that he's going to have an opportunity to take Carr's spot in fall ball, but I think it's pretty understandable that Carr is going to be the starting quarterback, and I think they've kind of represented that, and they're kind of telling Minchie like, hey, just because he's a starting quarterback right now doesn't mean he's going to be a starting quarterback week 1. But we plan to start him week 1. If you change our mind, our plan will change. If you're able to show us that you are better than him, we will change our mind and our plan will change. So I could definitely see that coming up as well.
So you think they'll publicly announce it? So you don't think that Freeman would kind of look at it as a strategic advantage, because they don't have to announce anything publicly about who the starter is until right before kickoff, right?
Like he could do that. He could. He wouldn't be it would just be odd. I understand, like, strategic. They're gonna be able to tell when you watch him practice. They're gonna be able to tell. When CJ Carr is out there taking more reps with the first team, getting closer to the game, you know who's going to be a starting quarterback. And I think Miami's going to be like, yeah, it's obvious who the starting quarterback is. Just because Marcus Freeman's not going to say it doesn't mean Miami doesn't have an idea who the quarterback's going to be this year.
Do you remember? Because I can't recall Freeman's first year with the Buckner Pine situation, because I know that was sold as a battle. Do you remember when that was announced? Like, I feel like Buckner,
he would have, I want to say it was around the 2-week mark before the season started.
Okay.
No, the Buckner Pine battle was as much as the Buckner Sam Hartman battle.
You think so?
Like, it did not, and Pine, give it to Pine. He had great games that season, the year before that. He ended up playing well for us that year because Buckner got hurt. Well's a stretch. But yeah, it's not the end of the, like, you know what I mean? I want to say, I can look it up, to be honest with you. I can tell you.
Yeah, because I don't really remember.
It was in August.
Anthony asks, how do you figure that none of the coaches have given any reason to believe that it's CJ? People are hyping up CJ and not the coaches.
Well, you're going to see, when Steven Jelly transfers out, he's not transferring out because CJ Carr got outperformed by Kenny Minchie.
Yeah.
Like,
he's leaving because CJ and Kenny outperformed Steve.
And realistically, we talked about it, Steven Jelly had to play somewhat, like, if he played near what CJ Carr was playing, like if they were comparable in any way, you really could have made a world where Steve Angeli was going to be a starting quarterback week 1. Because you're going to go with a guy who's playing just as well and who has the experience. Not saying that he should be a starting quarterback. He obviously got outplayed.
Also, again, we're not saying it's official. I just think that from everything we've read, from every insider you talk to, from like all the outlets and everything, everybody believes it's CJ Carr. Now, does that mean CJ Carr is going to start? No, that doesn't automatically mean he's got the job right now. From everybody that you're supposed to trust, they're telling you it's CJ Carr. So I think that those people at least have to know at least something or a little bit about what they're talking about. And then you see the stuff about, evidently the staff has had conversations with Kenny, maybe including, some extra NIL incentives to keep him around and use him in specific packages in the offense. I don't think you do that if Kenny is your undoubtedly starting quarterback, right? Like, I don't think those conversations happen.
Well, realistically, we're not trying to say that CJ Carr, like, we know for a fact CJ Carr's got to be a starter. We're saying if CJ Carr were to be the starter, this is how it would go down. And I feel like right now we're gonna see it. They're gonna split snaps come the beginning of the season or come the beginning of practice. We all know it. But he's gonna go out there, and at some point they're gonna have to separate it. And you're not gonna do it the week before the game. You're not just gonna randomly the week before the game be like, oh, now we're gonna start giving CJ Carr more snaps with the first team. like, and cut Kenny's snaps in 3/4. Like, you're not going to see that. They do it pretty ahead of time because, especially for a quarterback who's never played a down in college football, they're going to want to get that more in as well.
Yeah, I think, again.
But to answer your question, no, you don't do that to a guy who you plan on starting. You don't do that.
Yeah, and again, I think, I just think, even if you watch both spring games, and spring games are spring games, right? But if you just go off of what we've seen as fans, right? Because the only thing we've seen from Kenny and CJ in terms of football on the field is 2 spring games, and in both the spring games, CJ outplayed Kenny. Now, it was closer this year than it was the first year, but I think that's part of why there was a lot of excitement around CJ. And again, I don't see, like, I know the previous comment talking about everybody's hyping up CJ. I think there's been a lot of people hyping up both CJ and Kenny. As welcome back, Sean. Technical difficulties, man. What happened?
I don't know. Did you see me trying to get my camera to work or no?
No, it just went black and then he just dropped.
It was like I was sitting here listening, and then it was like my name, my initials, and then my camera wouldn't work, and then I just was like, I don't know what's going on. So,
okay, your thoughts, real quick, Sean. We're talking about it because people kind of a little upset that we're hyping up CJ. What are your thoughts
about the Kenny Minchie truthers?
Yeah, I think
it's not even that. It's more of they're mad because I said that if we're gonna find out who the quarterback is, it's gotta be 2 weeks before the season. Like, it's gotta be pretty obvious.
And the fact that most people,
I think it's already obvious it's CJ Carr, and everyone's like, "Don't like." Why are people? I've said this. I still have this belief. Kenny Minchie is an excellent runner. He's elite at running, and he's the best in the quarterback room at what he does in his athletic ability. But he's got an arm, but he
doesn't have the accuracy.
He doesn't have the accuracy yet. It reminds me a lot of, like, like Kyler Murray. He'll throw some suicide balls, and your receivers will get hurt, or it's too high, too low, it doesn't get there. CJ Carr puts the ball on the money, and CJ Carr can move. Not as much as Minchie, but if need be, he can move. I don't think it's close. I don't think, and I'd be lucky to have Kenny Minchie as a starter if CJ Carr wasn't here. I think Kenny Minchie's a great development quarterback. I think he's talented. I don't understand why people are dying so much for him to start over CJ Carr, because I don't think it's even close that he's better than CJ Carr.
What was do you remember, because I remember that Kenny's stats in the spring game this past year were not that good.
They weren't great, but they also
he had moments.
He had some guys drop. Well, yeah.
But he had the arguably the worst besides Angeli, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
like, CJ was just efficient. Besides the one pick he threw, which was just, if you go back and watch that play, that's just CJ being a little cocky and arrogant with his passing ability, thinking he could get a ball in between 3 defenders. But like 17 for this was Carr's stat line. 17 for 24. Where me find that again? 17 for 20, or no, 14 for 19, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Like, that to me is, and then you look at the passes he had in that game. That dime to, was it Flanagan? I want to say, was it Cooper that caught that ball?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like, you just watch that spring game. And I'm not saying that it was wide margin, but in the 2 spring games we played, CJ was the best quarterback in both of those spring games.
So yeah, and so Minchie.
CJ's only played 1 spring game.
No, CJ's played 2.
He's played 2. He played 1 his freshman year, which he did really well. His freshman year.
Well. Yeah.
So Minchie, what he did, he finished 6 of 14. He threw for 106 yards, and he ran for 12 yards on 6 carries. That's what Minchie did.
Yeah, I mean, Minchie can move, but come on. Like, some of the throws, it's obvious. He would overthrow a receiver by a mile. or he would. Some of the balls were caught, but they just weren't on the money like CJ Carr. Like
the thing with Kenny, and this is my thing with Kenny. No, who's the better athlete? Kenny
Minchie,
right? The problem is, and this is what you run into. You ran into with Riley. You ran into it with Brandon Wimbush. And obviously, I'm not saying Kenny is those guys, but I'm saying what you run into is they're great with athletic ability. At times, they have arm ability where they can chuck it, but it's erratic. It's not consistent. Not Riley, but Brandon Wimbush between the ears is not there. When the pocket broke down, Wimbush's first thought was to run, and he could not stay in the pocket and deliver an accurate ball to save his life. That's the problem. And the thing with Kenny, and I've noticed this in the 2 spring games, is I'm doing the Trump, by the way. The thing with Kenny is that he just, when the pocket breaks down.
Minchie, some say he's the best. I would say he's the best. Some say he's the best. He's the most athletic. Just in between the noggin, in between the 2 ears, it's not there.
No, it's like what I've seen from him in the 2 spring games is when the pocket breaks down and he can't take off, like that ability is taken away because the defense knows that's what he wants to do. He can't. Yeah. It's erratic. It's not. He's got the arm talent, but the accuracy's not there. When you watch CJ, it's calm, cool, collected. He's not running around. And when the pocket, he doesn't necessarily. It's just the ball's out. It's out.
I do have to question this, just as like of thinking completely through it. Maybe there was an idea inside Minchie's head that like if he performed bad enough, he might not even be the 3rd string. Stephen Jelly sucked. He was terrible in that game.
He was terrible in that spring game. Yeah.
Maybe that was the ideal in Minchie's head that he might not even be the 3rd string and that he'd have to transfer out. Now at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So because Angeli transferred out, CJ threw a pick on the only play he was pressured. Okay, he also threw 14 for 17.
I mean, Kenny Minchie, what makes me mad?
Kid threw 14.
I'm going to call him out. This Nolan kid was getting on me.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying.
Watch out, I'll get emotional.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, it's because he's young and with experience he can improve it. Yeah, with experience you can improve it, but wouldn't you rather have someone that doesn't need the improvement and already has it?
I just want to put this out. On average, in that game, so what? That was in 2 drives. He threw 14 for 17. If you run that, so in normal college football game, most of the time the offense gets at least 4 drives, 5 drives at least.
Yeah.
So what? On average, it's 7 completions a drive. If last year we went 28 for 32, 34 with our quarterback.
4 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah, we win every game and we're holding up a national championship. Like, yeah, he had 1 bad play. You're right. I'm not going to say that's something he needs to figure out. He's young. But everything else has looked so good. Saying Kenny Minchie did better or even the same is insane.
You don't know ball.
Kenny Minchie just looked like a lesser Riley Leonard out there.
No, I mean, you don't know ball.
Okay,
he is better.
To be fair, hold on. To be fair to Kenny, what was it? 6 for 14 was his stat line.
6 for 14.
That's not good. That's not great.
Leonard threw better than that.
That's not great.
Leonard threw better than that with a freaking knee brace on, dude. Or not knee brace, an ankle brace.
To be fair to Kenny, so there were a few of those. I want to say like 2 or 3 that were just blatant drops by the receivers.
You're right.
But I can't also argue.
Collins. There you go.
But I can't argue that a couple of the drops were also caused because of the ball placement and where Kenny threw it. So that's what, and then you go and you watch CJ, and on that highlight play, I'll have to pull it up. He hits number 85 and puts it only where 85 can get it. Right over the top of.
Good.
It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I think what it is.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's great. It's the
Some say it's the most beautiful throw. I don't say that. Some people say that.
Oh, my God.
He must build an alignment wall.
It's. I almost said it's beautiful. Ah, shit.
It's beautiful.
I think that if the coaching staff sits here and says Minchie is the quarterback, I will support it. I will support Minchie, and I trust the coaching staff to make the right decision. There's a reason.
Like, hold on, let me run this back real quick. Like, this is just, and then he's moving around in the pocket. He moved to make that throw.
God, Kenny Minchie, that'd be out of bounds.
And that's Kenny Minchie that hit the cheerleader on the sideline like Ian Book did against Louisville.
Like, look at that. That, like, dude.
But no, back to what Sean said, and we talked about it during, like, oh, who do we want? I said it multiple times. I could give a shit less who I want. I'm a 22-year-old who's in college, who isn't the quarterback coach, who isn't a football coach. I don't care what I want. What does our coaches want? Because I trust them more than anything. Like, we're just random dudes on YouTube.
In the chat too? Sorry.
Deuce is in the chat, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was the other guy with Nolan that was all like Kenny Minchie. So
well, I'll give it to Deuce though. Deuce does give good reasons why.
Yeah.
He's very athletic. What Deuce says is correct. He's very athletic, and it could be something where that works better in college.
Hold on, was this one the final play of the spring game? I want to say it was.
Deuce is, right. Kenny Minchie's very athletic. Kenny Minchie is a very talented quarterback. It was said by Charles Powers that if Kenny Minchie was in a different quarterback class, he'd be a top 10 quarterback class in that cycle.
Here's the thing. Is it just me, or when I watch CJ, right? The throw it makes it look effortless. It looks easy when he throws the ball. Like, we've dealt with so many quarterbacks. Like, even with how much we love Riley, there were times where he threw and the ball came out of his hand, you cringed, right? There were times when Ian Book
to be exact, you cringed.
I cringed.
I believed in our fucking quarterback.
Like, okay, so Ben, like, let me ask you, Ben.
I didn't week 2.
Ben, so Ben, when he missed that route, like the 5-yard out to, I want to say it was Raritan or Evans. He threw it over Evans' head and straight into the crowd. Did you not kind of like cringe a little bit and be like, that's not good? That's not, that's not great. Like, no, that's. Or like when he
you
threw
don't
it
want to
straight
see
in
me
the
during
dirt.
a Notre Dame game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Deuce,
No,
what did you? Wait, no, read what Deuce is put in the chat.
Oh no. Kenny Minchie has the higher ceiling. CJ might.
Okay, you're correct. Yeah. Technically speaking, Riley Leonard had the higher ceiling than Arch Manning because Riley Leonard could run. If he understood how to throw a football, he could have been a Heisman quarterback. What's your point? Why we're not taking players on who has a higher ceiling? We're taking players who's going to start next year.
I will say this to his point. I think
he's not wrong.
Hold on.
He's not wrong.
I do, Andretti. I do think he has a higher ceiling with athleticism and throwing power. I think Minchie has an arm, and if he can get the accuracy down, that's elite. So I do understand that. CJ doesn't need to really get better. I think he's really good at throwing the ball. But I think you want whoever is more ready now, who can beat and win you a championship now, right? And I don't know if that's Kenny Minchie now.
And as a Colts fan, I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot as a Colts fan.
Like if Minchie,
Riley Leonard got drafted,
Minchie is the Anthony Richardson.
Oh God!
Hey, bold prediction. I think Daniel Jones start. That's not bold. I think Daniel Jones is your starter.
Hey, really quick, getting back on track.
What I just read today, I don't believe that.
Really quick, getting back on track.
Get through 3 picks during practice.
That's like saying Brennan Wimbush had a higher ceiling than Ian Book. Well, true. Ian Book was better. Why was that, Sean?
Ian Book went to the playoffs twice.
Well, Ian Book could throw a ball.
Is the winningest quarterback. Well, I say that, but Ian Book also was Mr. Francis who had to run all.
I think we're forgetting Chris Fink touchdown against Michigan week 1.
Oh, Chris Fink saved the hell out of that play. If you watch
it was directly in his chest after Chris Fink jumped 4 feet in the air.
He threw that into double coverage, by the way. So just so happens that
fucking white boy Chris Fink's down there somewhere.
I am also going to say this because I mentioned this in the chat. I talked about that Nolan kid, right?
This is a Lamar Jackson conversation all over again.
No, it's not.
Kenny Minchie's not
Lamar Jackson was throwing for 9 touchdowns and Heisman winner, and he was people. It's different. I mean, Lamar Jackson's elite. To me, he is the. I mean, there wouldn't be Lamar without Michael Vick, but he is the greatest running quarterback of all time. I mean, he is.
Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask this to Deuce and Andretti in the chat.
We're going back and forth. Deuce and Andretti are the same fucking person, Frable. You dumb shit.
Why are they 2 different accounts? Jesus. Anyway, Deuce, why are you like give me a reason you don't like CJ Carr. I need to know this. Like what is it? Was it because CJ isn't a pocket like a dual threat? Is that which by the way, CJ can't like if you actually watch his highlight tape, he's sneakily athletic. Like but
he's not gonna get 50 rush yards. He's gonna run for a first down. That's it.
Like he can run for a first down. Like and that to me that's all you need. Like would we say that Will Howard was as athletic as Riley Leonard?
No.
Would you say he was even as athletic as Kenny Minchie? No.
You're doing 2 polar opposites.
But what did Will Howard do, especially in the national championship game in critical moments with his legs?
He threw all over our defense.
But there were a few times where he also took off for a 6-yard gain, picked up a first down, even though he looked slower than shit. Running I
wanted to run on that field and tackle him.
Like you don't necessarily like. I think there's this misconception that you need, and maybe it's because I think a lot of people are living in the moment, and it's the recency bias of why was Notre Dame so successful last year offensively in terms of running the ball. It was because of Riley, right? And I think people think, well, we got to the national championship with Riley.
Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we can.
All of me?
Yeah, we can.
I think it was all of you. All of me.
There's a recency bias of we got to the national championship with Riley, and Riley was a mobile quarterback. So we need a mobile quarterback to get back to the national championship.
No, we haven't had a quarterback that can deliver strikes and throw. I mean, he's a guy.
Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, he was good, but you think of his NFL career, and it's like, ugh. But yeah, well, Deshaun Kaiser a little bit could throw.
Yeah, Deshaun Kaiser could put.
No. Deshaun Kaiser. Deshaun Kaiser was fucking terrible. Bro's QB career was made by Will Fuller.
Deshaun Kaiser is Kenny Minchie.
Will Fuller is the only reason Deshaun Kaiser got drafted to the NFL.
Oh,
if you disagree with me, argue with a fucking wall because you have a better chance of winning that argument. Okay.
Oh my god.
But I just don't understand and if you think Minchie's better, I respect it, but I do want you can. It's everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Game man, CJ Carr is a game.
Frable, just stop reacting.
Okay, here we go.
Next subject.
He said, Dude said, CJ's a good quarterback. I really think he can be good, but I don't want to push him out there early is all. And in reality, our line may not be that good next year until week 4.
We have every offensive lineman returning that started, pretty much.
Well, that was supposed to start at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Final topic. Let's kind of move on because we've been on this a lot.
No, we have 2 more, don't we?
No, we have 1.
The betting favorites.
Oh yeah. So I guess we'll do that.
Sheesh, man, you got a long episode.
Yeah. Well,
what'd y'all talk about while I was gone? Y'all
flirting each other? Fall camp storylines. We talked a little bit about A&M visitors, but yeah. So it came out that Notre Dame is favored, is one of the, I want to say 5 teams that's favored in every single game.
Yeah.
The spreads came out. Notre Dame's 2.5-point favorite on the road at Miami. Notre Dame is a 7.5-point favorite at home against A&M. Yeah. And then 8 of their 12 games for the season, they are more than 2 touchdown favorites, according to Vegas. If you had to take a guess, what are the 2 games that Notre Dame is not a 2 touchdown favorite in? That's not Miami and Texas A&M.
We're not
It
a
better not be
two-touchdown favorite.
Arkansas. No, it's definitely.
It's definitely Arkansas. It's definitely USC.
Yeah.
You'd be correct.
Yeah.
So yeah. But what are your guys' thoughts on the spreads for specifically A&M and Miami? Do you agree? You think it's a little higher, lower than what you thought?
I'm fine with the spreads. I think that when you're playing, I'm okay. I mean, I think we beat Miami more than 2 points, but I mean, I don't hate the spread because it's week 1 and on the road, but I do think the A&M spread should be higher than the Miami spread.
Yeah, so technically, because Miami gets 3 points because it's at home. So if it was a neutral site, Notre Dame would be 5.5. If it was at Notre Dame Stadium, it would be 8.5. So technically, Notre Dame would be favored by more against Miami at home than they would be against A&M.
Yeah,
Your math's not mathing there for Able by Suchi.
How? Because Notre Dame would get 3. Notre Dame would get 3 points for it being at home. If you take away,
it would be 6.5 then.
No, because I'm saying if you go from it just goes to a neutral site, then you take away the 3 points that Miami's getting because it's at home, right? So then you just add those 3 back on.
You're giving Miami 3 points because it's at Miami, correct?
Yeah.
So then if you took it to a neutral site, it would be 6 points.
Yep, and then
if you went to Notre Dame, it would be 9 points.
Okay, yeah. So, but I'm doing the 8.5 because it's 2.5.
Well, okay. Oh, it's 2. I thought it was 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, no, 2.5. Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Shut up, Ben.
Yeah, shut up, Ben. Math is hard.
I know it's hard. You freaking dropout. But no. I think if we beat Miami, I think we cover it. 2.5 one things where you're just kind of betting certain lines. Like, oh, you don't like the price in the money line.
Yeah.
Most bettors, they'll take the 2.5. I don't see us winning by 2 or 1 points. I definitely see us win by a touchdown if we win, or a field goal, or 3. I could see it definitely being 3 to 10, like in that range. The thing I don't. Oh yeah, I'm hammering the 2.5 if I think we're gonna win. The thing I don't.
Betting $100 to win $120.
Yeah.
Good, man.
The one thing I don't know about, and it's one of those things, and it's not the Miami or Texas game. It's Southern Cal game.
Yeah.
In the past, when we're better than Southern Cal, like ranked higher, seen as the better team, we don't come out as strong against Southern Cal.
It's at home this year.
Yeah. Like what? The last time we played USC at home and we were the favorites was Kelly's last year with Jack Cohn, and we won by 4 points, 5 points.
Was that the game against Keaton Slovis when Slovis was still at USC?
I don't remember. I just remember that was the game where USC fans complained because Brian Kelly was on the field during the onside kick.
Oh, yeah. That was the game where they scored a late touchdown to make the score look better, and they had to go for an onside kick late in the game. Yeah, okay, yeah. That was the Slovis game. Yeah. But, yeah.
And then before that was the – well, I guess, yeah. Well, no, because USC was better – I don't know if they were favored, but I think they were ranked higher than us.
Notre Dame was favored in 23 when we played USC at home.
Yeah, but USC was ranked higher than us that year as well. And the year with Sam Darnold, I want to say USC was ranked higher than us because that was right after we lost to Georgia. I think we beat Michigan State, and besides that, we didn't beat anyone else that year. Yes.
Now, what about the A&M game? Do you guys like the 7.5? Because I think that's a little.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, if we beat them by 10 on the road, why can't we beat them by more on the road or less?
Different team. Like, it's not week 1. They're gonna have 2 games before they play us. Like, I don't know. I can see it, but I think A&M's gonna be better this year than they were last year.
And I think Notre Dame will be better this year than they were last year.
I think this will be a game that's a lot. What's the word? Not rely on. Oh, and to answer my question, the last time we played USC at home, 29 besides Brian Kelly year 2019, we won 30-27. So yeah, it was a close game. But I think just because I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think A&M's got to rely a lot more on the run. I think we're going to match the energy because we know we can rely on the run, and then if we need to go to the passing. So I could definitely see this game being, they could definitely be a closer game than that and be 7 points can cover very easily. And realistically, the A&M game last year was a 7-point game. We just had the field goal at the end.
To make it a 2-score game, which was big because they were getting the ball back with time to tie it if we didn't make that field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we got the first down, we would have ended the game.
Yeah.
Give me the field goal 10 out of 10 times.
Hey, Mitch Jeter, that was before the injury.
Dude, Mitch Jeter was on fire. I was like, we finally have a kicker.
His groin was on fire.
You know what? As many kicks as he missed, the Penn State game made up for it. So, and he lost it missing the Ohio State kick. But
dude, I was rewatching the Ohio State highlights the other day. I don't know why I did it to myself.
I don't know why you did either.
Like, that damn minute, we really should not have kicked that field goal in that situation.
No,
we really should have gone for it.
I disagree with you completely. I was pro field goal in that situation.
I was pro getting points. I didn't give a shit how we got it. So, if we had to punt the ball and hope the guy runs purposely into the end zone and we tackle him, I would have took it.
Ryan, if you make that field goal, and if you stop him on third down, touchdown wins the game. But now you get the ball back with like 45 seconds left with Ohio State getting that field goal, and you're down 8 if you make that field goal, and you still have a chance to tie the game.
But if you go for it and you get it and you get a touchdown on that drive, then the touchdown and the 2-point conversion with great like phase on to Collins.
But okay, so hear me out. If we also go for it and then don't get it, we have all the defensive momentum back to Ohio State.
That's the same results as what it would have been of missing a field goal.
Getting a stop on fourth down gives you a lot more momentum than a kicker missing.
Let's talk about that fake punt. That's a lot more like.
Yeah.
The Stephen Jelly fake punt?
Yeah, Ryan Fravel's Wonder Boy Stephen Jelly not being able to complete a pass to Jordan Fajon.
That was a good play. I remember watching the replay of that. That was actually a good play. And Jelly fucked it up by a bad throw. So
I mean, it did touch Faison. So, I mean,
yeah. Well, when Faison's having to dive to catch the damn ball, I mean, like. But anyway,
Jaron Grayhouse dropped the game-winning touchdown against NIU. Go ahead.
All right, final topic. Our Arkansas early thoughts. This is, to me, the game that I pointed to when the schedule came out as Trap Game Central.
Yes.
And then I was like, I would feel worse about it if it was a night game. And then as that I felt like, thought about it more. I still am scared about this game. Not because I don't think Notre Dame is clearly a better team than Arkansas. I think that's pretty evident. But it's after it falls right on the schedule after your 2 toughest games, kind of like Purdue does, right? And you're most likely going to be going on the road for a sleepy 11 a.m. local kick against most likely an unranked opponent. We've seen how Notre Dame teams under Freeman in the past have taken those games pretty lightly. I want to say that, I'm not worried about it. Freeman's fixed it. He's moved past it. It's not something we need to worry about. But I've said that after the Marshall, Stanford, and NIU games.
Yeah, but you're sitting here saying teams that are non-SEC schools. Arkansas is an SEC school. You don't think Stanford was a rival, and we came out like we just didn't care. That's the type of stuff that we've had happen.
Okay. For Freeman's own defense, that was his first season, and that was really that whole thing was all messed up because
was one of the most worst ref games I've ever seen. So.
Yeah, and we also had the fact that our second string quarterback was playing. So there's that to it as well.
But also on the road at Louisville,
that's not on Freeman.
That was the team came out completely flat.
That was on that. Who was our OC?
Jared Parker.
That's on Jared Parker's dumbass.
My dad was that game.
Do you guys remember Audric Estime? They ran a sweep route to get him the ball on 4th and 1, and then we fumbled. We never ran that play before. I don't know if we ran it in practice, but then again, we never ran that play before. We have our power-heavy running back, and we say, let's run a sweep play to get him the ball. Just give him the ball and let him go downhill and hit somebody. He wants to do that.
Well, Jerry Parker, evidently that was such a genius call because now he got a head coaching job off of that.
Thank God he left.
Where's he coach at?
Troy.
Oh, no wonder half their students want to stop watching the football team.
How did Troy do last year?
They won. They won the Sun Belt
with Parker.
Yeah, as head coach.
Good for them. Good for Parker.
Oh man, I love Troy, man. You guys did God's work by taking that man. Thank you.
But it was a good choice by them. Shit.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
They did not win the Sun Belt.
They did not win. I thought they won the Sun Belt. I think the year prior
they won 4 games.
Never mind. They were dog shit.
Well, Ryan, you just I take back everything.
I'm sorry. I thought
they won the Sun Belt. 2023 they won it, but they didn't have Parker then.
So they got worse with Parker.
Way worse.
They got way worse. They won 4 fucking games.
Arkansas is the biggest trap game on our schedule. They have talent, an SEC team. It's at noon. Reminds me of that Clemson game that was at noon and the all whites. So I hope that we don't come out flat. I think they know that. Was this week 4? This will be a week 4.
Week 5.
Who do we play before them? After Purdue. So I think Purdue will be a little sleepy. That'll be rest. So heading into Arkansas, I think we'll be fine. I think we win it, but I do think that's the biggest trap game that if we lost it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think Arkansas maybe could be a top 25 matchup. You look at their schedule going into it. Not saying it's gonna happen, but there's a possibility they could be undefeated. The only team they really play is Ole Miss. And Ole Miss still has to figure out a whole bunch of things with their team.
Ole Miss will be ranked. Rank them for us.
Yeah, I think they'll rank them.
Well, also, if you're looking at it, though, they play at Memphis. Like, Memphis is a team.
If they don't beat Memphis, we're beating the shit out of them. Dude, Memphis is terrible.
Memphis is a team that some people have picked to be like that G5 auto bid team. So
good for them. They suck.
I don't know who's going to be the G5 auto team this year. I don't think it'll be Boise. I don't think
it's not going to be Boise again.
It won't be a military academy.
That's why my first thought was it was going to be an American team.
Texas State, maybe. I could see Texas State.
But no, back to what I was saying with Arkansas. Well, it's got to be like after the NIU game because we're going to lose Purdue after beating A&M in Miami. It's just going to happen. So we're going to go into Arkansas and just, pork the pigs.
66-3. Like
66. Yeah, after the NIU game. But no, I could see it being a top 25 game. I think it'll be a trap game for sure. It'll be up for a trap game. The real question will be, can we just respond? I could definitely see Arkansas like going up early. Like, they just get a stop. We give them decent field position. Like maybe we give them the ball at like their own 35 and they're able to go on the field and maybe just score a touchdown. But then I think we'll just boots on the ground, just start pushing forward and win the game.
I want them to be ranked when they play.
You're going to be there, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
So if anyone wants to go say hi to Fravel and call him gay or
Fravel didn't say hi to me at the national championship, which was just
wow, Fravel. Fake host.
What happened?
Fake host.
All the Notre Dame fans were at the one bar in downtown Atlanta. And
I said hi to Sophie and Louise.
Sean's 18, dude. You can't get into a bar.
I'm like 5-6 years older than you.
Jesus.
Ridiculous.
Says the guy, what was it? You said your favorite year in Notre Dame football was what?
2020?
In 2020? In 2020?
Why did I say fucking 2020 was my favorite year? Who the hell told you that? I said 2019.
No wonder he shits on Deshaun Kaiser and Josh Adams.
Deshaun Kaiser is not a good quarterback. That is why he sucked on the Browns. Oh my God, bro. Brandon Wimbush, we could have made the playoffs with Brandon Wimbush at quarterback if with Will Fuller. And CJ Process.
That's a wild take. A wild take. All right. Final thing. So, you guys think, well, if you got to have to give a prediction, Notre Dame beats Arkansas?
Yes.
We lose by 30.
Lose by 30? All right.
Yeah.
No, I think we come out sleepy. We win on a game-winning Noah Burnett field goal. Has everybody sweating bullets in the group chat. People wanting Gino Guidugli fired. People wanting Mike Brown fired. People wanting Chris Ash fired.
Probably.
If we let Miami score 20 points, they're going to want Chris Ash fired. I don't see the point there.
We'll see how I feel about Chris Ash. I wasn't a fan at first of the Golden hire, so I trust Freeman. I wanted Mickens, but I'm okay with whatever Freeman wants. To be honest, Freeman could do anything, and I support him. So
anything?
He could go shoot some people on the field. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
I was going to make a Jerry Sandusky joke, but okay.
They could go execute. Like,
deserves to be executed after this chat.
I mean, you know what? It's Marcus Freeman. I mean,
he's a good guy.
The first African American coach to coach in that. He just saying.
Oh.
And Asian.
He's the GOAT.
All right. On that note, thank you to the 217 people that are watching right now.
Wow, 217 people hear me bullshit for an hour and a half.
It's less than last week, though, so I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah. Make sure you go over to the Voice of College Football Notre Dame. Drop us a sub, like, comment. Let us know what you guys think of the show. Again, we go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Getting closer and closer to the season. We are 33 days away from kickoff, 25 days from college football. So we're just coming up quickly. We got fall camp starting in a couple days. So, anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. I've been your host, Ryan Favel, with my co-hosts Ben and Sean. We will see you guys next week, same time. And as always, stay safe,